Rams in Chicago. Dusty texted us an update on the real field this morning. I thought it was news from the show. Nope. Just wanted to tell us all it's down to minus 21 on the real field.
I can't talk to you in the makeup room. Dusty can't text you important news. Well, you know what, man?
Usually texts at 7:30 in the morning are like breaking news. He's like, guys, the real field's down to minus 21. Caleb has provided the Bears with some late game magic. And guess what? The Rams are open to giving up leads. Games this season where you fell behind after leading by 14 or more. The Rams have done it 3 times. Eagles, Seahawks, and last week against Carolina. The 7 other remaining teams have just done it twice.
Wow.
That's fascinating, right?
That's a great job, Josh.
Josh, you crushed that,
That's a Josh original. No other show in America has
no other show in the world.
Great job, Josh.
If it gets later, you're taking Stafford or Caleb.
They're both very good in the clutch. I mean, obviously Caleb had the 6 game-winning drives this year, but Stafford is tied for the most all time in a season with 8 back in Detroit. Yep. So not just with the Rams, he did it with Detroit. So they're both clutch. But one thing, Dusty pushed me to this. One thing came to mind to lead me into which guys I would take. Dusty!
Don't say real field.
The video.
No.
Clutch game, NFC Championship a few years ago. Right in the socket, baby. And I don't even know if I should say the name because I don't want the guy to feel like I'm picking on him.
You've been doing it for 4 years.
I'm just saying that could have. It was 17-14.
There was also
San
like 9
Fran,
minutes
obviously
left,
you see it. Yes, but the Rams went down, got a field goal, tied the game, and eventually won 2017. That could have ended it. That could have sealed it. So now I could point to Caleb against Green Bay.
Couple mistakes
too.
In his career.
But I'm gonna go with Caleb just because of the magic. The magic is right now. They're both clutch, but right now, Caleb. If it gets to that moment, I'm gonna be believing in Caleb.
As a guy who just watched this last week and I was rooting for the team on the short end of the stick, yeah, I'm going with Caleb too.
Wow.
Let me explain to you some. Matthew Stafford, and I don't think you're not knocking Matt. Well, you are actually.
No.
Matthew Stafford, you are.
He's clutch.
We know who he is, and is he clutch? Absolutely. But at this stage in his career, he can get it done and get it done one way. That's just completely being surgical and dissecting you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Caleb,
It's true.
you don't know what you're going to get, but you know you're getting something. It might be that he's going to be surgical. It might be, oh, shoot, he got outside the pocket. What is he going to do? Throw it on the run, 4th and 8, boom, dot. Or you know what? You get out. Now you're in space. If you're a linebacker or you're a defender, you're like, do I take Caleb? Do I stay with the defender? I don't know what to do. Why? Because his legs. He can beat you with his legs too. Like there's not another player, and I will continue to double down on this, remaining, that is more scarier than Caleb. There's one. Josh Allen, Caleb Williams. Yeah. Period. Because of what he can do and what he's proven to do time and time again. When I watch his games, I'm gonna be honest. Like last week, I felt like, oh shoot.
Yeah, you believe they were gonna come drive down and win. But what I would say is, I felt the exact same way at the end of Panthers-Rams when Stafford had the ball. I was like, he's gonna. So this is a cop-out answer because my answer is if it came down to this, if we were in a scenario where a team is down by less than a touchdown and they have the ball, I believe that team's going to win this game. So if there's 3 minutes left and the Rams get the ball down 4, I would be live betting the Rams. And if 3 minutes left and the Bears get the ball, I'd be live betting the Bears. But of all the quarterbacks in football, if you're asking me, like, who do I trust, in the fourth quarter of a playoff game to expand it a little bit larger, my list would be Patrick 1, Stafford 2, Allen 3. I think Matt Stafford in the playoffs, you can show it real quick, Dust, since he's been a Ram, he's been so good. It's not just the win-loss record's been good. 300 yards per game. This is an 8-game sample. 18 touchdowns, 4 picks, a 107 rating, 8 yards per attempt. He has been so awesome. And you put 4.2 picks if you want, because the Jaquaski chart one. But he has been just so sensational in the postseason once he got with McVay that my answer would be Matt Stafford, as much as I like Caleb.
Texans, Patriots. This one is Sunday at 3 o'clock. It's CJ versus Drake. We're going to focus on the quarterbacks. Both QBs had trouble holding on to the ball last week, so I'm just dropping it sometimes. Brew, we'll start with you because you're very confident. What are the chances that CJ Stroud outplays Drake Maye?
Look, Drake is obviously the better quarterback at this point, but I think there's a chance that CJ could outplay him. Obviously, Drake is facing the tougher defense. CJ's in his 6th playoff game, 3rd time straight to the divisional round. Mm-hmm. I think that team is really intent. Obviously, they all are, but on getting over the hump finally. And CJ hasn't been great in the playoffs. His numbers have been better maybe than he's played, but he hasn't. His game against the Ravens his rookie year, he was objectively bad, had like a low passer rating, but didn't throw any interceptions in that game. Just didn't complete a lot of passes and things like that. Last week, he had the fumbleitis and fumbled 5 times, but he had a short memory. And I like that even in that game where he had some bad moments, he still hung in there and he made some good throws. And this pass to Christian Kirk, I believe we have it. This is after several of those fumbles, if not all of them. And he makes a critical throw to Christian Kirk down the sideline. That went for 46 yards. So he still threw for 250. Like I said, whilst the Patriots defense is really good, if you're going to get them, it could be through the pass. And so I just think that C.J. Stroud, I don't believe he's going to be nearly as bad as he was last week. And I think he could definitely outplay Drake Maye in this game.
Yeah, I'll add to that because I believe there's a chance that he can outplay Drake simply because of how good, obviously, what Bruce said, the Texans defense is. But I think we don't give this Texans offensive skill group enough credit. And because of the poor quarterback play, whether it's been Davis Mills or I don't want to say poor. The mediocre.
They've had inconsistent
quarterback play. But they have an array of guys that can do different things and pose potential problems. The question is can CJ do what you just shown on that throw? And he can. Can New England disrupt him? If they can be disruptive and cause him to be frantic, which they've shown. They don't have
the great pass rush.
They don't have a great pass rush. Obviously, they've shown that they can get after you.
Good against the Chargers, but it's hard to judge.
But with CJ having that game, again, I think without Nico being out there, you can't be rattled. You can't walk into this game feeling like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? No, you got to be calm. You got to be stoic. You're the one that supposedly has the experience. You have a good tight end, use him. You have some young rookies that can make plays and rely on the running game. And remember, you got that defense. That's the biggest thing. The defense that he's going up against, not as stiff. Not gonna,
but pretty good. I mean,
they are pretty good.
Good defense.
It's tricky because we played a bunch of cupcakes on offense, and then Justin Herbert couldn't move the ball at all because of the offensive line. So again, I don't know. Are we actually the 4th best defense?
They look great.
In the league? Yeah, but everybody looks pretty good against the Chargers. But I just want to temper and give some credence to Patriots defense skeptics. The problem is, flatly, C.J. Stroud is missing his best skill player, which means Christian Kirk, who played great, is now going to be on. Christian Gonzalez has him, so he's basically out of the game.
Can I say something about that? And I don't want to. I don't.
You say it like you feel sorry.
I do.
No, you do not.
But I like CJ, and it feels like every year we get here, and he's either missing, like offensive line goes down, no Nico Collins. So I don't feel like we're getting the best of him.
I also don't know that we're going to be
receiving core is a little better than people think outside of Nico.
I also don't know you're going to be getting the best of Christian Gonzalez. And I also think when I have seen this happen to the Bills a year ago, The guy who suffers a concussion in the playoffs and just amazingly clears concussion protocol just in time for the game very often is not either there at the end of the game or himself throughout it. So I think you're playing. I'm
debating whether he had a.
Say it again.
I don't want to have a concussion debate. Yeah. I'm not sure.
You think they were already precautionary and keeping
right after the game in the tunnel? He's like, I'm fine. Not one of these like, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine.
Yeah. No, listen.
It's weird to discuss it.
I think that if this happens, it's not going to be because CJ plays some great game. It's going to be because the Texans defense makes Drake Maye look like the way they made Rodgers look. Which, again, I'm not predicting, obviously, but I think it's going to be more. This is oddly a Texans defense question to me. Because the Texans defense is more likely to be the deciding factor than C.J. Stroud.
The one, I like to twist stats. You know what my dad always told me growing up? Every day we'd sit down, we'd have eggs, we'd have cereal, sit down.
Eat your food?
Yeah, he said, eat your food. He said, never fight a man with cauliflower ear. And I always thought about that. I always think about that. Whenever I go to a bar and I'm getting into it with a guy, I look and I say, that guy has cauliflower ear. I say, let me get you a Miller Lite,
How does that apply here?
Oh, Drake took so many sacks. Drake took 52 sacks. Man, I'm used to getting sacked.
Yeah, but
Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to be sacked. It was shocking he got hit. Oh, my gosh, I'm on the ground. I think sacks all day. I'm getting 52 sacks. Texans had the fourth most sacks. Drake took the fourth most. So
I don't know that that's a good thing.
So you don't mind him getting sacked in this game?
Guy with cauliflower ear, used to getting hit.
You don't mind your quarterback getting hit?
I don't want him to get hit.
Oh.
But it's not Aaron Rodgers.
No, but he also is coming off a game where in 2 of those sacks he dropped the ball.
But he was oddly trying to throw the ball.
I know.
He's so comfortable getting hit.
Listen, I don't, never mind. It's just any bad thing, there are not many bad Drake Maye things. But somehow all of the bad Drake Maye things are actually good Drake Maye things.
No, he
gets sacked a lot, so now he's used to it. He's only fumbling the ball because he's trying to do too much.
He was.
They blew a 21-point lead, and now they actually feel better. So I just can't. You
tell me, we're favored at home. About to go to the AFC Championship.
Buddy,
it seems like it's working out for me. Drake, one of 3 sophomore quarterbacks trying to get to the conference championship. Jaden's already been there. Caleb trying to get past the Rams to make it. Can Caleb regain the top quarterback in his draft class title belt with a win on Sunday?
I think it's possible. It would take a very specific turn of events, which would be Jaden's obviously not playing this weekend, so he's static. Drake would have to play poorly. He would have to look like he looked in the first half against the Chargers for the whole game. And Caleb would have to look like he looked in the Niner game, except they win, where just up and down the field, where they scored 38 points. And I know some people would say that even that wouldn't be enough. And this is where you might get upset.
Sure, I'll take it.
There is a massive discrepancy between Caleb and Drake in accuracy. Drake was the most accurate quarterback in the league. Caleb was the least accurate quarterback in the league as far as completion percentage goes. That gulf is enormous. And I think the stats back it up, the only place there's a gap, and I'm not saying that doesn't matter, and I'll show it to you. This year, Drake is slightly better than him in those categories. But it's closer than you think. In passing yards, he's got him beat by 350 over the course of the year. Same number of picks, he's got 3 more touchdowns. Rushing yards, he's got 100 more. Rushing touchdowns, 4 more. So again, and sacks, which is I don't know if sacks are good now. I don't think they are.
Good against the Texans.
Caleb sacked half the time. And the reason I include sacks in there is that offsets a lot of the small yardage difference. So I do think that if one guy ends up playing great has an amazing round 1 comeback, and then round 2 plays great, and the other guy has what I would call a shaky round 1 where the story of that game was what the other team's offense didn't do, and then is shaky in round 2, it certainly opens the door to it. At least it will for me.
I think, as you've said before, those numbers, their regular season performance was not as close as those numbers. And sure. I think you would agree with that. And obviously the playoff game you threw in there helped Caleb because he threw for over 300 yards. And so I think, look, first of all, I got to say this. Some people would hold out room for Jaden.
Yeah.
Because Jaden led them to the conference championship game last year, was fantastic throughout the season. You were first on this. I do start to wonder, like, how healthy is he going to be able to just stay healthy like a normal quarterback? But assuming he does, he's certainly in this conversation.
No doubt.
Outside of that, I think at best it's like, because Drake was so much better in the regular season and doesn't have nearly the weapons that Caleb has. They both got great offensive coordinators.
Not according to KW. KW thinks Diggs is the best receiver on either team.
I think Chicago has the best receiving core. I think they got clearly a better run game. And I just think that Drake, I'm not going to dismiss him being either the MVP or second in the MVP race because of a couple of playoff games. I think Caleb would have to do more.
I actually think he regains it. And you've kind of alluded to this before, draft placement of where you were drafted and how you were viewed entering into the draft and what the expectations were surrounding you. Caleb, the expectations were so high, we were disappointed last year, and he didn't have a terrible season. He just had a season where it was like, man, I thought he was going to be so much better.
That was my fault.
And
I'll wear that one.
And now you see a young man that's starting to develop, has a future with a head coach and coordinator that you feel like it's going to do nothing but blossom. And he feels like, and again, little recency bias because of how he beat the Packers and what he continues to look like in these moments. But he just feels like there's so much more room and potential there with growth.
No doubt.
Drake Maye has been almost like just stoically perfect. I shouldn't say perfect, but just steady all season long. And it's like, can he get better? Absolutely.
If Bo Nix beats Josh Allen.
No, because Bo Nix has not had the caliber of regular season either of these guys had. Bo Nix does not have a one great playoff game like Caleb has.
This is his first time he hasn't.
No, he played in the playoffs. No,
I know, but now he's getting a shot. This year. He doesn't get rewarded. He doesn't get penalized for making the playoffs.
No. I'm not penalizing him, but I don't think. No, it might be. I don't think Bo Nix is as good as the guys who went 1, 2, 3.
No, we look at those teams. Even Jaden, they're the reasons why we talk about those teams and why those teams are winning.
Yeah, I mean I don't think Bo Nix is in the conversation at the moment.
Brock Purdy not pictured.
That's not our call.
But if he wins on Saturday, most conference championship appearances in their first 4 years, Patrick Mahomes has 3, and Purdy will have 3. Who has the most to gain from a win here, Purdy or Sam Darnold?
This is a tough one because I think both guys have a ton to gain. And I think for Purdy, a lot of people do believe in him. I think him winning this game, I think Nick might come around and fully give him his credit. But I think for most people that believe in him to whatever degree, they think he's a top 10-ish quarterback or better or whatever, fluid. But I think for those people that already believe he's a good quarterback, kind of the only thing he can do to improve that opinion is win a Super Bowl.
I think getting back to another Super Bowl.
It would be impressive. It would maybe solidify. I think, I say 2 things. Next year to come back and just put up lights out numbers, like fantastic numbers and all of that, be in the MVP conversation, or win a Super Bowl. Because he's been to a Super Bowl, he's been good in the playoffs, he's been in the MVP conversation a couple years ago. And so I just think that's like, to totally erase that Mr. Irrelevant that still haunts him to some degree, he has to win a Super Bowl. So I'm going to say Darnold for this game because even though he's been really good the last 2 regular seasons, he was a bust, a straight bust for 6 years. For a guy who was number 3 in the draft, for 6 years he was viewed as a bust. And I still think some of that residue is on him in terms of the way people view him. We're sitting here saying, if he doesn't play well in this game.
How he played in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and if he doesn't play well in this game, they may feel like in that building they have their quarterback. And so I think if he comes out and plays well in this game and they win it, then he could maybe fully dispel the bust. Like, that is no longer an issue with him. Don't even think about that with him. He's a legitimately good quarterback.
I say Purdy. I say Purdy because last year he was in this situation with a lot of injuries around him, and we were very critical of him. Some saying, well, it's because of the guys, and he played well, he didn't play well. He's in the same situation, and he's been excellent. He's been executing, and he has his team in this position. So I think guys like you, who your voice carries and you have influence,
I know.
You're going to start saying, I kind of like that guy.
Purdy?
Yeah.
I told you guys, I'm open to the possibility.
No, you're going to start saying,
you've been open before, though.
Listen, I like moxie. Wildes calls recency bias. I call it playoff weight. Like, I weigh your performance in these playoff games more than your performance over 2 months of the regular season at times. That's a little more flippant, but I just think these playoff games have real weight. However, I have to say, I'm insulted by the question. What did we do in the B block today, KW? We do it every week during the playoffs.
Most of the games.
Most of the games.
I forgot.
Yeah, I made a whole list, America.
Really
I have it printed off here. You know who was number 4 on it? Sam Darnold. You know who wasn't on it? Brock Purdy. I answered this question an hour and a half ago. More to gain. I don't know. Most to gain. Sam Darnold number 4. Brock Purdy not listed. So it's like, hey, Nick, make a whole list, and later in the show we'll ask a question about it. What the hell? Why did I put all the work in? Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.